for the 2018 4HCA Championship game on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart with you from Deseret News Rewind. Commentary brought to you by Tosh Orthopedic Specialty Hospital and also the Utah Army National Guard. The 4A Championship, the game we thought we'd get last year. It's a year later, and it might look a little different, but Dane, this should be an interesting battle. The number one scoring defense in Dixie versus the number one scoring offense in Orem.
Dusty, I mean, you look at these two teams, and one of the things that, I mean, you talk about the matchup there, defense and offense. How about this? Pineview, they were the number 2 scoring offense in all the state, right? They played both of these two teams, Dusty, and this Dixie defense held them to just 14 points. This Orem defense held them to 20 in that semifinal. So for me, it's, hey, Dixie has shown they can slow down prolific offenses, but this is kind of a different level of prolific when you look at Orem.
When you look at Orem, you're looking at a quarterback in Cooper the God, one of the best, I guess, productive quarterbacks in the country. Not just in the state of Utah, but in the country. Puka Nacua, one of the best wide receivers in the western United States, committed to USC. He's going after some career numbers today as well. And then there is the bull in the china shop, Noah Sewell.
Man, I mean, this offense, and you already talked about a lot of these kids, Dusty, but I mean, Puka Nacua, let's start with him. He has already set a number of state records, single season receiving yards, career receiving touchdowns. He needs 1 touchdown to tie the new single season touchdown receiving mark, which is held by Patrick Henry at Milford, 2 to surpass, and then he needs 13 receptions to set a career receptions mark in the state. Puka Nacua would obviously love to have a big game here today, but talking with the staff before the game, they said, hey, look, the W comes first. That's what we're most concerned about. You mentioned Cooper Legaw. He's top 5 in the country in passing yards, has been prolific. And then you mentioned the bull in the china shop, Noah Sewell, who last week in the semi had only 6 carries, Dusty, and was just about at 200 yards with 3 touchdowns. I mean, this offense has put on a show all year long.
We're all teed up and ready to go. Jake Peterson back deep for Orem. He had that great start to the semifinals, and we are underway in the 4A championship game. The kick taken at the goal line by Ethan Slade across the 20, and it'll be Cooper Legaw and the Orem offense starting out at the 23-yard line.
We mentioned that Dixie defense, and we mentioned what they've done to other top offenses in the state this year, and now we're going to get a very early look at what Coach Monkers is trying to do against this Orem offense. And talking with him before the game, said, hey, you know, we're not going to try to take away Puka. We're going to try to plan exactly who we try to take away, kind of on a play-by-play basis. It's an interesting strategy, and we'll have to see how that works out for him.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him.
Exactly.
Tui Savura will start in the backfield in the pistol behind Legaw and gets the call. He slips a tackle initially behind the line of scrimmage and then dropped at the line of scrimmage. On the initial contact for Dixie was number 90, Connor Walden, and on the stop was number 30, Lorenzo Schwalder.
And Tui Savara was the guy who last week they really tried to get going in that ground game. You see a nice job by Dixie getting a couple guys behind the line of scrimmage, including Connor Walden. The Waldens had a nice game last week in that semi as well for this Dixie defense.
Connor had the sack and fumble, and then brother had 2 interceptions. Tyler Walden, who was the corner near side on Puka Nacua. Legaw to throw. Fires over the middle. That pass is complete. Slipping off tackles is Trevor Rocky across the 40. Rocky across midfield, still going inside the 45, and then finally dropped inside the 40. And as much as we talk about the stars, some of the guys that keep on notice, one of them is Trevor Rocky.
He's kind of one of the quiet guys in this offense, Dusty. Was a big contributor in their state championship team last year. You see, this is a real simple route underneath the coverage. But look at Rocky, just tough to bring down, and then utilizing that speed as he takes it across the 50. Boy, this is a good physical run after the catch by Trevor Rocky.
Now, Rocky and Tui Savura are wide receiver types, but they're both listed as running backs. As Sewell now enters the game, and he had that highlight reel run last week against Pineview as a quick set and throw to Nacua, and Puka is now 12 receptions away from the record, has a first down on that catch.
And if you're going to play off of Puka Nacua, they're going to do this every time. And we talk about Coach Monkers deciding, hey, we're going to try to take away different players on different plays. Yeah, if you're 8 yards off of Puka, you're going to see that time and time again, and he may very well get to 13.
And that was a straight read by Laga. That was not a design play. Nacua near side, 2-by-2. Peterson inside of him. Play action, and we got a penalty before the snap. And Orem set to move back 5 yards.
It's pretty remarkable, Dusty, when you think back on this, and I haven't been following Orem football, real long. Spencer Curtis set a number of those career records where you're like, oh, that's not going to be touched for a long time. And Puka's done it really in just a couple of years. I mean, Spencer Curtis was a major 3-year contributor and played all 4. Puka's been big the last 2 years, but a majority of his success has come his junior and senior year. It's really phenomenal the way that he's been able to reach some of these career marks.
Well, and Simi Fehoko was a 4-year contributor as well.
Yep.
Looking to throw. Laga into the flat, complete to Jake Peterson. And Peterson still on his feet inside the 25. And it'll be 2nd down and 3. Or probably call it, 3 yards. 2nd down and 3, gain of 7 there for Peterson.
We don't have an official stat guy on the broadcast with us. I'm doing our best to try to keep us updated. How about 3 for 3 for Cooper Laga on this first drive, 57 yards? That's a pretty good start for one of the best quarterbacks in the entire country.
3 different receivers. He's got Rocky, Nacua, and then Peterson. Nacua near side. And they're going to run Sewell. And Noah makes a nice move inside the 20. And it's a 1st down to the 17-yard line for Noah Sewell.
Fantastic blocking up front. Look at the lanes created here for Sewell. He can go inside, out. I mean, he's got so many options here, and a nice job able to pick up the 7 yards and a 1st down.
And I believe that was Fred Prescott. That wasn't just a pancake. I mean, that was the equivalent of a football swirly. Tui Severa and Rocky in the backfield. As Laga going to throw. He fires out to Rocky. Rocky makes that catch at the line of scrimmage and is stopped there. So no gain on the play. Walden on the stop.
It's a fantastic job by Walden here, Dusty, because as this play's unfolding, I'm thinking that same thing. You have the flat wide open, and look at how open that is. And then next thing you know, Walden is right there. And absolutely no room for Rocky. Remember that first reception, he made 3 or 4 guys miss, and that time it's one-on-one. And if he wins that play, Orem may be in the end zone. Instead, it's Walden making a nice tackle.
Nacua near side, one receiver at the top of the screen. There's Tui Severa in the backfield, and he does get the carry. Buju just gets inside the 15, where it'll be 3rd down and long for Orem.
So important for these Dixie Flyers. When they have Orem in 3rd and long, that they're able to make a stop and shut down this offense. I mean, it's an offense that's averaging 53 points per game, I think it was. I mean, if you can hold them to field goals, that is a huge, huge win.
Noah Sewell checks back in on 3rd down and long. So it's Sewell and Tui Severa, who is now split near side. As Nacua lined up closest to the line of scrimmage here at the bottom of the screen. You see him right there in the neon shoes. Laga was looking Nakua's way. Now pressure comes. Cooper can run. Looking for the 1st down. He has it, and he has a touchdown. Cooper Laga, who's done it with his arm, now does it with his legs. And Orem marches the length of the field to score with 7:38 left in the first.
I mean, I don't know how you can play this any better than what Dixie does. Look at this, Dusty. It looks like they have everything bottled up. There's no routes down the field. And Cooper Laga makes one man miss there, gets a nice block from Puka on the perimeter, and he's in the end zone. Boy, I'm sitting here and I'm like, Dixie's got this. They're going to get a stop. Instead, it goes for 6.
The point after is good. 7:38 left in the first quarter. Orem leads 7-0. You're watching the 4A state championship game on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. Commentary brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard. 7:38 left in the first quarter. Orem takes the opening drive and scores on the terrific Cooper Nacua run. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart from Deseret News Rewind with you. Commentary brought to you by Tosh, your orthopedic specialty hospital. If you've got anything going on, we'll be transitioning to basketball. Give them a call. If you're feeling uncomfortable, you just want to get it looked at, you don't want to pay anything, Tosh is there for you. Free injury assessment, 801-314-4040. Go visit the experts at Tosh. It'll be Orem kicking off to Dixie. Walden takes that one inside the 10, and Walden is not going to get back to the 20-yard line. Gets to the 19 where he's driven back, and that'll bring out Graf and the Flyer offense.
All right, so, one of the first questions was, how is this Dixie defense going to try to take away some of Orem's options? Orem able to score. The big question is, how does Dixie try to maintain pace with Orem scoring? Now we get a look. Reggie Graf had a fantastic year, Dusty. He really was the main guy in that semifinal win last week against Park City. That zone read worked well for him. Let's see how Dixie tries to attack this aggressive Orem D.
One thing is, it's about 30 degrees warmer than it was in that semifinal. As Graf goes zone read coming near side, the junior quarterback across the 20, spilled at the 23. It'll be second down and 6.
Couple of things here. Obviously, some nice opportunity for Graf off this zone read. We mentioned they used it a lot last week. I would expect them to try to run a lot more this week than they did last week. If nothing else, try to move the sticks, keep Orem's offense off the field. How do you engage Graf as well as Banuelos and Mahi, who had a nice week last week?
Second down and 6. Want to stay out of third and longs against this defense. As Graf's going to throw, looking to the flat to Banuelos, and it might be a gain of 1 to the 24-yard line, where it'll be third down and 5.
One of the things that I just don't think they get enough credit for this Orem is Orem and their defense. A lot of talk around Sewell. You'll see him on the defensive side today as well. Number 2 coming in on that tackle there. But Dusty, they swarm to the ball so quickly in what looks like there's space. In a matter of a second, all of a sudden there's 3-4 defenders and there's just no room to work. And for all the talk about Puka and Cooper and this Orem offense, the Orem defense has been just as good.
So that is Wergler, who is injured. And Wergler's had a terrific run here in the state tournament with defensive touchdowns off pick sixes. And Joe Smith is going to replace him near side. Joe Smith's one that made the big plays last week to open up that semifinal game against Pineview. Block punt and a forced fumble on a kickoff return. Third down and 5 for the Flyers, trying to stay on the field. Graf fires, long throw, and it's dropped on the hands of the intended receiver, Travis Muir, and he just could not hang on to that as he was going to the ground, and the punting unit will come on for the Flyers.
This is a play Dixie has to make. This throw's made before the break on the route. It's man coverage on the outside, knows he's going to have him open. You got to bring that one in if you expect to hang with Orem today. First downs, ball possession, going to be incredibly important, and instead a failed third down, and the Orem offense will prepare to come back out.
And I believe it's Slade back deep. He says get away and lets it roll, and it takes a Flyer hop inside the 30-yard line where Ethan Slade picks it up, and then he's bumped out of bounds. Good job there by Emerson to get down there. Ethan on Ethan contact, and it'll be a 70-yard field in front of Nacua and the offense here, Dane. And drive number 2, and you never want to claim big-time drive, but for this Dixie team, this is a big-time drive for this defense.
You know, I mean, it's one possession, right? And things can snowball so quickly when you play Orem. Yeah, I mean, even a field goal here, I think would be a positive note. Just really need your defense to get some confidence against this high-flying Tiger offense.
Nacua, the near side receiver. As Tui Severo will be in the backfield. And it's play action. Nacua looking deep. Pressure comes. Cooper gets rid of the ball on the check down, and it'll be a big play. Buju Tui Severo has a first down across the 46-yard line. Mark him down at the 48. It is 1st and 10 Tigers.
Nice check down here from Cooper Nacua. They're looking for the home run ball with Puka. It's man coverage, and Dixie does a nice job defending it. Look at everyone up top. They know This is trying to go deep. And a nice job you see right there, Tui Sever saying, hey, I'm open. And all of a sudden this turns into a bit of a screen, Dusty, unintended. But that's essentially what it turns into, and Tui Sever able to drag a couple of defenders to pick up the first.
How about that? Gave a little screen action to that. Then it's the stand and watch game with Lagat. Here is Sewell on the carry, bouncing it near side. And Noah has a gain of 7, call it 6 on first down. And it's inside of Flyer territory to the 46. And Sewell's got to feel like he's back in region play for the first 2 years of his career.
Yeah, it was interesting last week, before that game against Pineview. We saw Pineview's coach go up and give him a big hug, right? And, this is a former region foe. I'll tell you, his numbers this week are not nearly as impressive as last week.
He averaged, 29 yards a carry last week?
Yeah. On 6 carries.
2nd down and 4. That is Rocky in motion. Lagat fires, and that ball was a dangerous throw intended for Orem's number 24, Caden Vitrell. But nice job by Dixie's Jake Staley to get his hand on that one.
Yeah, look at this. And, Dusty, I didn't like this decision either. Look at, oh, man, so close to being able to get a paw on that. I don't think it was in threat of being intercepted. Just trying to fit it in a tight window there. And here's another 3rd down for this Dixie D.
3rd down and 4. Had 1 3rd down on that first drive, and they picked it up. That is Rocky in motion. Lagat was going screen, and he's going to get away. Dixie plays great defense, and both times they had stymied this Orem offense. It is Lagat getting done with his legs. He had a touchdown on the first drive. He picks up that 3rd down with his legs there. 1st and 10 at the 31.
Dixie all over this. And a good decision that time by Lagat to just tuck it and run. And the moment he does, and he brings that vision back to the middle of the field, Dusty, nothing but real estate for Cooper Lagat on a 15-yard pickup.
They're going to the patented wide receiver screen to Puka Nacua. But it's 1st and 10, Tigers. Screen to Tui Sever. Buju coming near side inside the 20. There's a flag on the play. This could be coming back. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Once again.
One of those where Dixie's selling out that 3-man front, trying to get there, and nice job by Orem, able to get that offensive line up ahead. But you saw that flag coming right there, and it will be a holding.
So it was a double screen. Love the design there by Coach Lance Reynolds Jr. No doubt helps from Coach Lance Reynolds Sr., the longtime BYU coach who's up in the booth. And it was funny talking with Coach Hill, asking about how cognizant are you with records, and he's saying no, and Coach Reynolds Jr. goes, don't let him tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you what he's thinking.
He was on me last night about records and everything we got to do.
As Rocky goes in motion on 1st and 11. Lagat, there was a flag on the play. This will be on Hill. And passes to Puka Nacua. Oh, my goodness. He taps that ball at the 10-yard line. All for naught, though, as it'll be coming back.
I didn't think that he got a foot down on this reception.
I think he got both of them down.
You see the flag coming right there. Dusty, you called it. Have another look. Yeah, wow.
Both of them.
That's why he's going to USC, folks, right there.
The Chris Carter School of Receptions.
It's one of those things where every week when you watch Orem, there's just something that's like, holy cow. I mean, how does he make that play? And that USC staff, JT Daniels, have fun.
Yeah. And the thing is, and we've said this before, and this isn't a knock. When you see Puka, you're like, wait, that's Puka Nacua? And that's not to say that he's a nerd. I mean, he's not going to be on the cast of The Big Bang Theory as far as that goes, but you're just surprised because you see Porter Gustin, and you go, okay, I get it.
Right.
And it'll be a false start as right now it's going to be 1st down and 29.
Here's the thing, though. If you're Dixie, that means nothing.
Yeah.
Like, that means nothing. Cooper Lagat has 2 rushes for 31 yards and a touchdown. They can pick up yards in a chunk. So if you're Dixie, I know that you got him right where you want him, 1st and nearly 30. But you got to, buckle up that chin strap, and you still got to play 3 solid downs of defense here.
Trips to the top of the screen is Nacua nearest to the and man on line of scrimmage. Laga gets out of the pressure once again. Cooper still looking. He fires to Sewell. And Noah slips that tackle and has yards in front of him inside the 35 where he hurdles a man. And there'll be a flag on the play for that. Penalized for the athleticism. So it'll be first down and a long ways. It'll be over 29 yards.
Not in college yet, huh? This is a great job by Dixie. I mean, they bring the 4, had the linebacker there come around the edge, and Schwalger, and boy, just able to get that off. And I thought Dixie has a chance here. And look at the strength of Sewell that time, able to fight through it, and there's the hurdle. Man.
And he cleared it.
It's a shame, isn't it?
Just,
I get it, but that's a shame.
10 years ago, Timpanogos had a running back in Lions. I'm trying to think of his first name, but he would do the same thing, as they'll be offsetting penalties, and it's too bad.
I mean, that's a DNRT 5 down the drain.
Yeah. And it looks so effortless.
Right.
And that's a big man. Noah Sewell, we talked about this last week, he meets the eyeball test. You see him and you're like, yeah, meets the eye test. But look at right here. Whoop! Over the top.
Oh, man.
So we'll do it again, 1st and 29. Sewell stays in the backfield as Rocky goes in motion. And we'll go counter draw, and he hurdles again, and there's another 15-yard penalty.
So this is one of those that I just don't get. You just got penalized for hurdling.
Yeah.
And now we're going to do it on the very next play.
Here's my thing. If you're going to protect your knees as a future top-tier Division I prospect, nothing else. Hey, here it is. The conversation we had with Coach Hill, he told us he had brought in a motivational speaker. And he said to them, he brought up the broomstick, a 12-inch broomstick, because a broomstick's 38 inches. He's like, look, if you have a 38-inch vertical leap, and if I put down a 12-inch broomstick, would you still jump 38 inches?
Yeah.
And Noah Sewell says, 38 inches? That guy's 5'8", 5'9". I'm going to go after 60 inches.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that one's a costly one. I mean, right now, not only are you obviously got first in nearly half a football field, but this is changing field position here.
Yeah, first down and 41. Laga going for it all. And Nacua has it. 1st and 41 to 1st and 10 at the 17.
45 yards. And what I say a couple plays ago, hey, you got him right where you want him defensively, but you can't take your foot off the pedal. And that time I thought the safety just didn't play nearly deep enough. Allowed himself to get burnt over the top by the best receiver in the state of Utah, and just like that, you go from right where you want him to, oh, crap.
2 receivers at the top of the screen. Jackson Williams near side. Go on the ground with Tui Savura. And the Flyers swarm to the football, but Tui Savura is inside the 15 to the 13-yard line.
Nice pulling guard action here. Tell you what, been impressed with Dixie. I mean, they're defending pretty well, Dusty, but they're not bringing guys down at contact. They're letting guys bounce off them, fighting through, dragging defenders. Got to be a little more tough and aggressive here on the defensive side.
Nacua, the closest man to Laga, and they're going to go to Puka on the bubble. And Nacua dropped at the 16-yard line. It'll be a gain of 1.
Loss of 3.
I probably lost to 3. I forgot.
No, you're good. You're good. Already 3 receptions for Puka. Dusty, all of a sudden that career receptions mark becoming more and more possible. We mentioned that they were aware of where they would have to get for some of these records to fall today.
He needs 10 more.
Yeah, and I think it's 600 yards for Cooper Laga. That one might be a little above and beyond.
Yeah. As Laga moving around. Now fires to the flat. How about Williams? Stabs at one. It'll be 4th down and 4. They got to get to the 12. See what coach decides to do here.
Nice job by Dixie here defensively again. You'll see they've done this a couple times where Schwager starts at that middle linebacker position and then comes around the edge. It's a bit of a delayed pressure. Orem's been able to pick it up every time, but the secondary that time in position to make a nice stop on 3rd down.
Got to get to the 12-yard line, or pardon me, to the 7-yard line at the 12. Laga fires complete inside the 5. It is 1st and goal on the reception from Britton Paulson.
And this is just sitting down in space. Nice read by Laga. Puka's on the inside there in the slot, and that just opens up the space on the outside there for the reception to be made by Paulson.
Managed them to 4th and 5, and it's 1st and goal on a drive that was 1st down and 41. Puka now in motion. Sewell in the backfield, going to get the call, and false start. So it'll be 1st and goal now from the 7-yard line. And that is the 4th penalty on the drive on Orem. So come back to that same formation. See what Coach Lance Reynolds Jr. dials up here. Same play, but they jumped again. Back-to-back false starts on the Tigers. They'll make it 1st and goal from the 12.
You know, Dusty, we were up in the box before the game, and like many teams do, the last play that Orem ran, it was a punt. And then the team was supposed to run down near the goal line for the fair catch, right? And the snap from the center was off target. And it was one of those things we looked at each other like, is that an omen? The penalties right now have been that omen that haven't gone the way of Orem here in this 1st quarter.
Timeout on the field. We'll step aside real quick. 3 seconds left in the 1st quarter. Three seconds left in the 1st quarter. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart with you. It's 1st down and 12 after back-to-back false start penalties. And still looking at the same formation here. Let's see Nacua come in motion. Nope. Laga, quick set, fired to Nacua on the fade. He's got him. And Puka pulls it in. Touchdown, Puka Nacua.
Yeah, he ain't dropping that one. Right in the breadbasket. And when we talk about Puka Nacua, and we talk about all the marks that he has set in just really 2 years of being that full impact player, is because he's got a quarterback like Laga. Look at the touch on that. I mean, that is right over the shoulder. There's absolutely no chance for the safety Kesterson. I mean, that's just a beautiful ball from one of the nation's best.
Took advantage of the wide side of the field. And Puka now ties the record. And point after is no good. At the end of the 1st quarter, it is Orem 13, Dixie 0, as they missed the point after. You're watching the 4A State Championship on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. Commentary brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard. Start of the second quarter. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart with you, and Dane Orem. We knew they'd be impressive. Thought that the 1st and 41 would be a little bit of a roadblock. It wasn't. You think 1st and goal after back-to-back false start penalties would be roadblock. It wasn't. Just impressed with what Orem has done in a season they haven't been tested at all with.
Well,
sorry.
I mean,
after
okay, all right.
In a state tournament where they haven't been really tested.
Fair. And I think, it's been the exclamation mark. And when you look at this Orem team and people wondering where they stack up, they played Bingham week 1, played Bingham really tight in a game that Braden Whistler did play in for, 60% of it?
Yeah.
And then, they go on the road to Gorman. Not a lot of people win at Bishop Gorman. And other than that, Dusty, they haven't had a lot of teams that have been able to stand up to them. And you look at the way that they've been able to battle today, and I think the thing that really speaks to it is, Puka Nacua has 4 catches, 65 yards. That's fantastic. But you look at the other options and the threat of Sewell, the threat of Tui Savura, the threat of Rocky, the threat of Laga, and it really speaks to the complete team nature and just having all 11 guys really on both sides of the ball that are a threat on every play. And that's what makes this Orem team, in my opinion, one of the most dominant 4A teams that we've seen in a long time.
And it's interesting to say that, too, because what's really hurt Dixie has been Laga's feet.
Yeah.
Do you think it's the 2 of the biggest plays in this game was the touchdown on the first drive and then 3rd down and 5 that he picks up with his feet? And that's saying that while they picked up 1st and 41.
Through the air.
But
still.
And he's kept plays alive.
Yeah.
They've gotten pressure on him. And now their offense has got to get going because they only had 1 possession in that first quarter. And luckily for Walden, ball across the goal line as they bring it out to the 20.
Well, and that's a remarkable thing. I mean, you look at this team, right? And if you're Orem, I don't have official stats. But in the first quarter, they had, 6, 7 penalties?
Yeah.
And it's still 13-0. And it's just like if you're Dixie, oh, man. You just get jumped on so quickly by these Tigers that now you're in a position on your second drive where you're like, crap, now we got to start getting pretty aggressive here and exposing our offense a little bit.
And also remembering there's still 36 minutes left in this game and not get ahead of yourself. And that's got to be the toughest thing as they start on the ground with Banuelos. And he gets a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and long.
And I think if you're Dixie, you go right back to this, right? And their previous drive ended on a drop ball. It was a 3rd and 6. The ball's on target. Receiver couldn't bring it in as he was going to the ground. How big is that very catch, right? You move the sticks, you get a 1st down, you keep Orem off the field. Right now, 1st downs are the goal for Dixie, the most important thing in this game right now.
Fake the jet sweep. Graff over the middle, got his man, and it's Mahi across the 40 to the 43-yard line. They got a 2-on-1 on Jake Robinson, and that's the first down for Dixie.
Boy, great read here, and a beautiful throw from Graff. Pressure coming, and he's got Mahi wide open. And you talked about kind of the 2-on-1. Nice job coming over from Robinson, but nobody had that slot guy, and Mahi makes him pay.
Might have had a touchdown if he goes to Miles Keenan there. 2-by-2 formation. Graff, quick hitter. Pass is complete to Travis Muir to the 48-yard line. And just like that, Dixie looking like they got a little bit of rhythm here offensively.
And I like this short throw, right? Pick up a nice gain on 1st down, set up 2nd and short, 2nd and medium here for the offense. Opens up the playbook a little bit. But as you see those Orem corners try to come up on some of those shorter routes, then you have opportunities over the top.
2 to the top of the screen, 2 to the bottom of the screen. Mahi, the slot receiver, now in motion. And they'll fake the fly sweep, and we got a false start penalty.
We saw that play a lot last week, really trying to get Mahi around the edge of Park City, and this is the same intent here. Orem looked like they had it defended pretty well, and obviously seeing that consistently last week, an opportunity to see that in film study and adapt your defense to it. Orem was keenly aware and ready for that one.
Resets everything. 2nd down and 10. That's the hardest part about that. And negates that catch that makes it 2nd and manageable, make it 3rd and manageable. It's now behind the sticks here, 2nd and 10. Graff going up the seam. Mahi can't get to it.
Boy, Mahi makes a move at the line of scrimmage that sets him open. As we have another look, watch Mahi, just bottom of your screen there, it just goes out. He gives that step outside and then cuts right between 2 defenders, allows that small window. He takes the punishment for it. If that ball has a little less on it, able to be fit right in that gap, and it's a nice play and a 1st down for Dixie.
Big 3rd down here for the Flyers on a drive that started promising. 3rd and 10. And they go that little counter draw that Ute fans saw a lot here at Rice Eccles Stadium with the Eddie Wide back in the day. And similar results, just a couple of yards. Interesting decision there by Dixie, conceding the 3rd down and the punt.
Yeah, this play almost looks like an RPO of sorts, Dusty. You had a receiver at the top of the screen calling for the home run ball, thought he had a step. You could see Banuelos was in the slot looking back for the ball, and instead they run that delay, and Orem was ready for it.
So Dixie punting it away, Slade back deep, and it takes a tiger roll toward the 35-yard line, down at the 34. Timeout on the field. 9:09 left in the half. You're watching the 4A State Championship on live.KSL, DeseretNews.com. Commentary brought to you by the Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Out of the timeout, 9:09 left in the quarter. Best field position of the day for Orem on drives where they've scored on drives of 80 and 70. Starting the ground with Buju Tuisavura, who gets to the 37-yard line. Actually called the 38. Gain of 4, 2nd down and 6. And this Dixie defense that has flown to the football has actually done a nice job in contain, but just has not been able to get guys to the ground on first contact. They stem and blitz right into the run to Trevor Rocky. And Rocky with his 2nd big play of the day inside the 30, well, actually, you're going to call him out the 36-yard line. Trevor Rocky had the first big play on that catch and run. And how about this run here?
Dusty, I mean, you had talked about this defense, and I was just getting ready to say how good they've done against the run today. And then comes Trevor Rocky. And again, you see guys able to get hands on him, but not able to bring him down. It's a 26-yard gain, the biggest on the ground today for Orem. Nice job that time by Rocky.
Kalnohi had him in the backfield, bounced right off of him. 1st and 10 from the 36 as Sewell comes in. And he'll give it to Sewell, and he almost hurdled again inside the 30-yard line. And actually probably should have been called.
Yeah, I think he's fortunate he got away with this one. I mean, I'm not sure where it becomes an official hurdle, right, what that definition is. But you see, again, coming up, and, yeah, I mean, to me,
Don't know what the difference is.
I probably would have thrown it.
Yeah. He got called for one. It was negated on offsetting penalties. And then the very next play did it again in similar fashion. Two receivers near side. Stay on the ground with Sewell. Tries to bounce it. Noah inside the 25-yard line, carrying Royal Blue jerseys toward the first down. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 14.
Do you know how many blue helmets hit Noah Sewell on this play?
I know, we can count them real quick.
7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
My bad.
But you did it on the. I got it in slow motion.
Right. Yeah. I found a site where he's listed at 6 foot 258. And by the way, he's fast.
Yeah. He's a big boy. Nimble of foot as well. As that's Nacua in motion. Laga going to take off. And Cooper cut down inside the 20. Nice run on first down. The tackle from Jackson Reyes. But it'll be 2nd down from the 19.
If he's able to wait just another second, we've got 26 and a new state record. He had Puka Nacua coming wide open across the middle of the end zone with nobody there. Cooper felt like was running out of time, and as a quarterback, that internal clock, don't blame him for taking off on the run, but Dixie able to just avoid giving up what would have been the 3rd touchdown of the day.
Nacua at the top of the screen looking for the record. As Dane just mentioned, throw to the out, and that could have been intercepted by Walden. And it was too tall for anyone on the left side of the field. And it's 3rd and 5.
Boy, dangerous throw here from Laga. This is thrown to the wide side, and what a great read by the DB. So he was ready to make that plant and come up and just through the fingertips. Well played that time, I think, by Jack. I had 10, but I obviously missed that number.
Walden follows Nacua now to the near side of the field. Two receivers near side. Peterson, the slot receiver, near side. Tui Severa loses the handle. Picked up by Laga. And Cooper Laga has a 1st down inside the 10.
That kind of a day, huh? Dusty, what's that saying you like to say? Sometimes you feel like a nut. I mean, and this ball's just sitting there. I mean, it's like bouncing around, and Laga able to alertly pick it up. And it looks like he's in all sorts of trouble, Dusty. And the next thing you know, I mean, look at this. There's 3 Orem Tigers right there. Makes a nice step through. Picks up 10 in the 1st.
1st and goal at the 9. Nacua near side. This is the same formation they ran in 2 false starts on the last drive. No false start here. Fires complete inside the 5 to the 3. And as Jackson Williams on the reception. 2nd and goal.
So, since I'm our stat guy today, I don't have any official numbers. But, Dusty, I've got, I think, 6 different receivers for Orem today. That's on 10 completions.
And only a couple of them have multiples. Williams is one of them. Williams and Nacua.
And Rocky, so maybe it's just 5.
And a give to Rocky out of the backfield, and he'll be brought down shy of the goal line. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 1. So we're near the 5-minute mark here in the first half.
Sorry, that's 11 completions.
Oh, he was close.
I miscounted one. My bad.
Well, it looks like this is going to be straight run with Laga looking for his 2nd rushing touchdown. No, Cooper
Great
can't
hold.
get out. And a flag came in on that tackle. And this is helmet to helmet.
Yeah.
It'll be 4th and goal from the 1.
Staley does a great job. Look at him just squeak up and through that hole. Maybe a hold there, Dusty, is what you were pointing at.
Yeah, hold on Dylan Peterson.
Well, the penalties haven't bit him yet. This one might.
And Dylan Peterson, no relation to Jake Peterson, as he is Peterson, as Peterson is Peterson. But timeout on the field. 4:47 left in the half. 3rd and 11. 3rd and goal from the 11 when we come back. You're watching the 4A State Championship. Out of the TV timeout, 4:47 left in the half. It is 3rd and goal from the 11-yard line. Puka Nacua, who's in the slot at the top of the screen, 1 touchdown away from setting the career touchdown record. Tied it earlier. And they pump the bubble, fire to the end zone. Jackson, no, it's Paulson. Touchdown, Orem Tigers. Brenton Paulson hauls it in. Beautiful design. Everyone flowing to number 12.
Everyone loves talking about Puka Nacua. This is a complete bait. Puka, as responsible as anyone else for this touchdown, as you saw that whole defense come up, and that ball is fit in a window. Great throw from Laga, his 2nd passing touchdown of the day.
Quite the first half for Cooper Laga, rushing touchdown, 2 passing touchdowns. Missed the last extra point, but this one is good. 4:41 left in the half. It is Orem 20, Dixie 0. You're watching the 4A State Championship. Commentary brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard. Three drives, 3 touchdowns for Orem. You can back them up with penalties. You can do whatever you want. But right now, this Tiger offense is absolutely on flow when they're able to just get a regular playoff. Walden from near the goal line. Oh, he gets absolutely tattooed by James Tenney.
Wow. Man, you hope he's okay. That was a big hit, Dusty. And, I mean, you heard the entire stadium gasp. Even I did. It was a big hit by Tenney, and, man, you just hope that young man's all right.
Yeah, it's a shoulder or he got the wind knocked out of him. That was a big-time hit by Tenney, and all intents from what we saw looked clean as well. As Walden had him been thinking he was about ready to hit a seam.
Well, they're both running full steam, and when people talk about football, this is why people talk about eliminating kickoffs, right? Or hits like this, and they happen all over, not just on returners. But look at that, unblocked, untouched. Oh. I mean, that helmet is right into the shoulder.
Clean hit. I mean, you can get frustrated, and teams are good, and we don't like good teams. But that was a clean hit from Tenney.
Good to see him walk off under his own strength. You know, Dixie getting ready to run play number 7 here. You want to know how many plays Orem has ran? 27.
Oh.
Speaks to the one-sidedness of what we've seen in this first half. We talk about first downs, playing to the sticks. Orem needs that right now, and they need a touchdown to end this first half to get back in this game.
Mahi, an near side receiver, their favorite target. Throw the little slip screen that had a potential for a big play. Sewell gets a tackle from behind, a gain of 9 on first down.
If Mahi is able to find a way to, it's not Mahi, excuse me. Who was
13.
that? 13. If Schweitzer is able to find a way to defy the laws of physics and just like move himself 1 yard to that further side, he's got nothing but space in front of him. Is a nice throw, but unfortunately led him right into the defense. Otherwise, Dixie, as you mentioned, Dusty, has that big play.
Trips near side, 2 receivers at the top of the screen. Quick set, fire to Mahi, and Mahi took a shot there at the end of that as he went to make that catch by Rylan Suafilo, whose brother Xavier was a Timpview T-Bird and now Dallas Cowboy. Got the start this week, the X-Man.
It was a nice job by Suafilo. This screen's thrown right into him. He recognizes it, comes off the block, is coming back, and able to dislodge the ball from Mahi, setting up 3rd and 1.
Hopefully X-Man's watching today. We called his state championship games at Timpview High School. Sister played volleyball at Pleasant Grove. Former UCLA Bruin. You're near side on the trips. Free rush. Graf looking, has no one, fires deep. Intended for Mahi. And it's 4th and 1. And I know you don't want to go for it inside your own 35-yard line, but everything dictates you maybe could. No, they're not. They're going to punt it.
You know, Dusty, you gain 9 on 1st down. 2nd and 1, you throw a screen. 3rd and 1, you throw a deep ball. And I understand that's not where that was intending to go, but you don't line up and run it once. Just needed a yard. And instead find themselves in a punting situation. So that play count now up to 9.
Wobbly kick. Takes a flyer bounce and roll inside the 25-yard line. It'll be down at the 21. So Laga and the offense looking to go 4 for 4. They started 7 for 7, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, against Pineview in drives that ended in touchdowns. Not points, in touchdowns last week.
Yeah. You know, Dusty, when we did our video last week, I mean, I'm sitting there and I was kind of just left speechless. Like, I don't know how you go about defeating Orem. And you've got to play the perfect game. And, you know, even at times where it feels like Dixie has them right where they want them and they can finally get a stop. 4th downs, 1st and longs, penalties, backing them up. Orem's always been able to come through with that big play.
Fumbles in the backfield.
Yeah. Right. Turns into a 10-yard gain.
Get free rushers.
Yeah.
You get them 1st and 41. And it's not mattered. And this is why I took a little guff last week. A certain writer for the Deseret News had tweeted, has there been a more dominant team in their own classification than what we're seeing from Orem? My answer was a 2005 Logan team, because that is all I can think of when I think of. And now those Timpview teams are dominant.
But not like this.
Not like this.
Yeah.
Not where it's, you know, where it was with Logan back in 2005, and now here with Orem, as that's a 1st down catch to number 24, Caden Virtual. But just so dominant, because you think of that Logan team in 2005.
Josh Flores out of the backfield.
Flores,
right.
Jeff Alley,
Yeah.
and I can't forget, I was going to look it up today because I knew I was going to do this. The wide receiver, number 21, who was a terrific wide receiver.
Remember, who was the quarterback on that team? I'm trying to remember.
It was a plucky left-handed quarterback. As come near side, ball's loose, and once again a fumble lays on the ground. It's going to feel like forever, but Tui Savura able to get back on top of it. Yeah, Riley Nelson was a quarterback of that team, set national records that year. As you see,
just friendly fire there.
Yeah, got in the back of his lineman, and oh man, you're gonna just makes you feel sick for Jake Staley, who's right there. But anyway, to finish the thought, they've played against an undefeated Hurricane team and destroyed them in the semifinals. A 1-loss Pineview team, James Lark, who at the time was a 4-star recruit quarterback, and destroyed them. I mean, and those games are.
The game was over at halftime.
Yeah, it was one of those things, and Orem has been that dominant. As Laga going deep and intercepted. Was looking for Jackson Williams, an ill-advised throw, and picked off by Tyson Miller. No, pardon me, 24, not 4. Ethan Kesterson.
Nice job by Laga here buying time. You see, able to get some pressure coming around, and Laga this time throwing on the run, throwing to a spot, but just doesn't get enough behind this, and it was Miller coming up with that interception. Came off a little hobbling. Not quite sure what got bent or twisted in the wrong way there, but great job by Miller just playing center field and able to create the turnover here for Dixie.
1:34 left in the half. The Flyers get the turnover they've been looking for. Mahi near side. Graf, quick set. Runs right into the sack. Down he goes. Maka Vaka'afi with the sack.
How about this, Dusty? I have that as just the second rush for Reggie Graff today. Remember, he ran the zone read on the first drive, and I don't have him with a carry since. And even there, that's a hot route. He's trying to get that ball out quickly. Receiver just didn't have the same read that he did, so tries to tuck it and ends up getting eaten up. But they've completely gone away from that zone read. And, hey, it's a 3-possession game. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm a little surprised that they've abandoned the run.
Inside of a minute. Down to 55 seconds is Graff. Quick set to Mahi, and he is popped by Joe Smith. And it's going to be 2nd down and 8.
And look,
third and 8.
And I'm not saying that you need to go and have 40 carries, but I think you need to have some balance in your attack. And right now, I mean, Dixie has 2 timeouts left. You know, maybe try a draw or one of those zone reads. You have a timeout to use, but not here on 3rd down.
30 seconds to go. Graff skips that one as he got pressure right in his face. That pass intended for Travis Muir, and it is 4th down. So the interception only nets 2 yards.
If nothing else, it kept Orem out of the end zone. Although that being said, they do have 26 seconds and 2 timeouts.
And Puka Nacua going to return this punt. Could not step into that throw. Why it's short. So Slade and Nacua back. But Nacua is the man that's deep. And they're going to punt to him. But a nice job of getting some hang time. And it rolls out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. 15 seconds to go in the half. We'll just see what Coach Hill, what Coach Reynolds has dialed up to close out the half.
I'm not going to lie. I'm going for it. 2
There's no reason not
timeouts.
to.
Right, 2 timeouts. You know, this is a team that, Dustin, we've talked about the way they've handled a lot of their competition this year. Very rarely have they been able to get engaged in meaningful football and really get, you know, the price of their student fees out of it, right? And so you've got an opportunity here to try to go 82 yards in 15 seconds. I mean, this is an opportunity for your starters to get, you know, some action they really haven't had a chance to get in this type of situation. I want to clarify that.
I believe Nacua at the top of the screen. He might not be on the field as Laga fires deep over the middle. Nearly intercepted once again. Mahi got his hands on that one. Or pardon me, Tyson Miller got his hands on that one. Jake Staley as well. The corner got underneath that one. 2nd down and 9. Or 2nd and 10, 9 seconds left. Nacua near side. Gauze got time, rolls out. Now going to run. Slips out of a couple and doesn't slip out the last. And that'll do it for the half. Orem scored on their first 3 drives, and they head to the locker rooms, leading 20-0 over Dixie in the 4A state championship game. We'll step aside, enjoy the halftime and the academic all-state presentation. We'll be back with second half action. You're watching the 4A state championship on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. Commentary brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard and Tosh, the Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Start of the second half of the 4A state championship game on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart from Deseret News Rewind with you. Dane, that first half was absolutely dominated by the boys in white. The Orem Tigers, they lead 20-0. How dominant? Dixie ran 14 first half plays. 14 plays for 46 yards, where Orem, 35 plays for 296.
Dusty, everywhere you look on our stat sheet, it's one-sided. First downs, 12-1, advantage Orem. Total yards, 296-46, advantage Orem. You look at third down conversions, 4 of 5 for Orem, 0 of 4 for Dixie. Time of possession, 17 minutes Orem, 6:53 for Dixie. Everything has been slanted the direction of the Orem Tigers. And quite frankly, Dixie's going to get the ball here to start the second half. Dusty, I think they're fortunate that it's just 20-0.
Oh, extremely. Got the interception.
Yep.
Lagat made the ill-advised throw after scrambling around, throwing that ball up, and then the end of the half possession. And so it is imperative for Dixie not to get points, a touchdown on this drive. And they had a couple of drives that started promisingly, and they've got to get it going. Across the 20-yard line goes Mahi, across the 25. Best starting field position outside of that interception of the day for Dixie.
And, you know, an opportunity at halftime to kind of push the pause button, right, to reset things a little bit. The thing that, I mean, we mentioned it a little bit at the end of that first half. Only 4 rushes for the Dixie Flyers in the first half total. Had 10 passing attempts, 4 rushes. They've got to get back to the ground game. Personal opinion, got to get back to the ground game to try to have a shot in this ball game.
Jacob Wergler back on the field. He left that first half a little hampered, but he's there as Graf going to fire to Banuelos in the flat, and that is a notice that had to have been noticed during that first half. Banuelos with the second first down of the game for Dixie.
Dusty, that might be their the second biggest play from the line of scrimmage. And, I mean, they ran this, not the same play, but the same route and completion to Banuelos early on that first drive. They weren't able to get a first down. How about the second first down of the game? Right there for Dixie.
See if they can continue to pile up some big plays here. Trips near side, one receiver to the top. Graf going to that isolated side, and it skipped. That one he just missed on. A couple of those have been short, but he's had pressure in his face. This one intended for Joshua Kazier, and couldn't get it to him.
Yeah, a couple times where he's tried to make that long throw to the wide side and has skipped it in. You can think back, I think, twice in the first half where I recall that happening. And that time the pressure coming from the backside. Not sure if that made him rush that. It was picked up well.
Banuelos in the backfield. Kazier at the top of the screen. Going to roll to the isolated side. He's got Mahi over the middle of the field, and there he is. Mahi can't slip the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 1, and then we'll add 15 to the end of this. Personal foul penalty coming up on Orem.
It'll be the 9th penalty of the game for the Orem Tigers. But once again, Orem really trying to bring the pressure on Graf. And a nice find to get Mahi. I would have loved for him to just keep on running. Try to get the stick that time rather than try that cutback. The speed of this Orem defense, I think we saw that in the first half. The speed and their ability to flow to the ball. Look, you got to take the lanes when you have them and not try to be too creative on the offensive side.
And that goes on Buju Tuisavura as he got there late. Now did that hit to the end as the American Fort Cavemen enter the stadium. 6A state championship game coming up next. 1st and 10. After the penalty, Graf step up in the pocket, going deep. He's got a man. Kazier has it. Touchdown, Dixie Flyers.
Here you go. Great job. You see Orem bring pressure, able to get some time for Graf. And Kazier was able to win that battle of the line of scrimmage. No catching up to him. The Dixie Flyers on the board.
The Flyers needed it, and quite frankly, we needed that in this game as well. Opening drive leads to a touchdown for the Dixie Flyers. And then we're going to have a offside penalty, I believe, here on Orem.
Dusty, that drive almost doubles their total offensive yardage in the first half. Had 46 yards in the first half. That one went, what, 76?
Yeah. So offside on Orem. So we'll try this one more time. There's Josh Stewart on for the point after. High snap. Stewart has it, gets blown up, and point after is no good. 11:14 left in the third quarter. Dixie gets on the board. It is Orem 20, Dixie 6 in the 4A state championship game on live.ksl and deseretnews.com. Commentary brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard. Welcome back to Rice Eccles Stadium. Dixie fans a little happier than they were going to halftime and getting their concessions. First of 3 championship games today, as 4A, 5A, and 6A all claiming their kings of football. As Peterson takes this at the 5-yard line, and Jake Peterson will not get back to the 20. First and 10 from the 19.
You know, Dusty, there's a renewed energy about Dixie. I mean, even coming out to start this state championship game, I don't recall seeing as much fire in the group as we've seen in just this first drive, really 53 seconds of this second half. And even on that special teams play, coming up, popping the return, and coming up with a little bit of emotion on the field. Be interesting to see how this defense is able to play with that emotion, if that helps them slow down this Tiger offense.
And let's be honest, this Orem offense has done a great job. However, the things that Dixie did wrong are absolutely fixable. But Trevor Rocky starting this second half just like it did in the first half. But we got a flag on the play, and post-snap, it's going to be an illegal formation or illegal motion. So procedure penalty coming up on Orem.
May have been a hold as well.
A personal foul, face
or none
mask.
of the above,
Hey,
huh?
look at that. So the 10th penalty on Orem. Don't get a look at the face mask there.
You know, Dusty, it's one of those things. This Orem team at times has racked up penalties over the course of the year. And by and large, their competition hasn't been able to take advantage of them. They had 1st and 41 here. They were able to convert back in the first half. Right now, they've got 1st and 20. Is this one of those opportunities where the Dixie defense can finally make them pay?
Dixie trying to do something pre-snap to change the look here for Laga. Gonna throw. Cooper's got time. He's got good wheels as well, as he will get nearly all that yardage back. A gain of 8 on first down. It'll be 2nd down and 12.
Good coverage downfield this time from Dixie. As I'm scanning, there's just not a lot of room to work. You see Laga able to squirt through and pick up 8 yards. It's a nice gain getting out of 1st and 20.
Hunter Hill got lucky there. Very easily could have been half the distance to the goal on a holding penalty there. 2nd down and 12. Dixie showing 3, rushes 4. Laga got plenty of time. Over the middle, complete for the first down. It's Puka Nacua. And Puka gets to the 38-yard line. A fresh set of downs for the Orem Tigers.
Couple of routes right over the middle. Laga electing to go with Nacua. Thought he also could have come right there underneath that, but you see Dixie selling out on the play. I think it was Staley that tried to deflect that ball away, and Puka does a nice job of bringing that in.
Well, Orem's done all day today offensively. Getting a little bit of trouble, but they have the weapons to get out of it. Laga. Over the middle, complete once again, Nacua. And it's another first down. Puka Nacua, to my memory, now 8 receptions away from the record. Needed 13 when he came in.
Yeah, I've got him at 6 right now. So I think he's 7 away. And, of course, 1 touchdown away. It's certainly attainable.
Absolutely. Jackson Williams at the top of the screen. Sewell, Peterson, and Nacua near side. Empty set for Laga. Gonna throw. Dixie brought pressure, picked up. Leaves us in shorts. Jake Peterson on the reception. And Jake has 9 on first down. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Only the 2nd reception of the day for Peterson, by my accounts. But look at the protection for Laga. And, I mean, I know that Dixie isn't bringing any elaborate blitzes. They're trying to stay back, play a lot of these routes. But if you don't pressure, and even when Laga, the pocket has broken down, is being able to beat him with their feet. Cooper Laga today has really been the X factor for the Orem Tigers. I've got him at almost 300 yards of all-purpose offense.
2nd and 1, expect a shot here. Laga fires, and that's complete to Rocky. And he goes out of bounds. Initially, I thought around the 16-yard line, and they'll mark him at the 15.
Simple route here, well ran by Rocky. Laga able to find him. His stats continue to just improve. I got him 17 of 20 today.
He's been terrific. He's 14 of 18 in the first half.
Well, then my stats are wrong.
Just by 1. Back to throw. Again, Laga, plenty of time. He's got a lot of green. He takes off. And it'll be 2nd down and 2 after a gain of 8 for Cooper Laga.
You have another look here, and just so hard to get to him. That offensive line for Orem doing a great job. And even when the coverage in place, a lot of space for Laga to beat you with his legs.
Sewell in the backfield with Laga, 8:21 remaining in the 3rd. That was Rocky in motion. And it's Sewell up the middle, and Noah has the first down. It's 1st and goal at the 4.
And that's been the aspect of this offense that we really haven't seen today to the same extent. It's what makes this Orem offense so difficult to defend. Again, he was blowing up Pineview last week, and today just 4 carries for Noah Sewell.
1st and goal. Same play. Sewell up the gut. Gets down to the 2. Interested to see if they keep it on the ground here. Buju Tuisavura gets into this game late. The Sewell run off. 10 seconds left on the play clock. It'll be Rocky getting in the end zone. Touchdown, Orem. Dixie scored on their first drive. Orem answers with a score on their first second half drive and pushed this lead back up to 20 with 7:21 left in the 3rd.
You know, Puka Nacua is at the top of the screen. You see they had bracket coverage on him. What does it do? It takes 1 man out of the box. And Rocky able to get some nice blocking, a good lane, and finish it off from 2 yards out.
as this Orem offense continues to roll. Esplin on for the point after. And he does not like this end of the field. He misses it. 7:21 left in the third. It's Orem 26, Dixie 6. You're watching the 4A state championship game on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. Commentary brought to you by the Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. .21 left in the third quarter. Dixie set to get the ball back. Scored on their opening drive. They're going to have to continue to score if they're going to give themselves a fighting chance here.
Yeah, the pressure's certainly on. I mean, spotting Orem 20 in that first half certainly didn't help.
Mahi will take this from the 2. He has a lane coming near side, and he cut it up. Dane,
yeah.
It was a big seam coming near the sideline.
No, I thought the same thing. I thought he was able to get around that block rather than come up where he chose to. He had a big opportunity.
Yeah, he goes outside the hash marks. Watch this lane between the numbers in the hash. Right there.
Right at the bottom. And instead just turns inside, and Orem able to fight it off, bring him down.
Starting out from the 24. Out comes Graff. Orem brings pressure. Graff rolls to his right. Fires. Tipped around. Intercepted. Buju Tuisavura takes it to the house. Touchdown. Orem.
Graff trying to force one here, and Noah Sewell's the man who deflected this, I think, into the hands of Tuisavura. As we have another look. Just not a lot of space here for this ball to fit in. It was Sewell who deflected it, and it's Tuisavura with the one-hand grab, and will follow the man who started it into the end zone.
Nice stab there by Tuisavura. And it deficit grows on that throw. And Esplin will come on for the point after. No, actually, it's not Esplin. It is Orem's 23, Moses Ruiz. And Ruiz puts that one through. 7:03 left in the third. Pick 6 from Tuisavura. Orem leads 33-6. So after the pick 6 from Orem, Dixie will get the ball right back.
And if Tigers could flex their muscles, well, this is what it would look like.
They can. I don't think they just don't. I don't know if they mean to.
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh.
I've seen the claws, right? But
yeah,
we were talking about some of the most dominating teams in classifications, Dusty. How about the 2016 East Leopards?
Oh, that's true. Johnny Lang.
Yeah.
Now, they had lost some games earlier in that year. They lost to Bountiful when Lang first got going. Remember, Lang had to sit out the first few games. They lost it, I think, in overtime.
They lost De La Salle that year, right?
I'll look it up. But remember, they played that game at Bountiful. So shockingly lost. It was in Johnny Lang's first game where they barely won that game in overtime. And then went on that run after that, which was untouchable. Jalen Warren ran for over 2,000 yards. Johnny Lang was absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah, set a new record for team rushing. Yeah, they went undefeated that year. So,
oh, maybe I'm thinking of another year then. No, they lost to
2016. They ran
so
the
that
table.
wasn't, yes, that wasn't Johnny Lang. It was the year before, 2015. That I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
We're thinking different years.
Yeah, yeah.
The wires got crossed there.
Yeah, because that was the year they beat De La Salle. They beat Pulaski.
Mm-hmm. Ran through the state tournament.
Yeah, I mean, they scored over 60 points, 5 times that year?
Jalen Warren ran for 3,000 yards.
Yep. Set a new team rushing record. It was
Graff going deep. And Robinson there, no call as that ball was intended for Dixie's number 15, Josh Kazier.
little contact right as Graff was getting ready to throw that ball, but good coverage down the field that time.
Third down and 12. Graff will set up a screen, came back to Banuelos, but it was read by Orem from the beginning. It'll be fourth down for the Flyers.
Been that kind of a game. I mean, you try the screen here, and it's well designed, but Orem just isn't fooled by it. Fantastic job by Suafilo, able to come back and hold them up, wait for teammates to come and help make the stop.
So punting unit comes on.
How about negative -6 yards on the drive?
And I think Joe Smith might have gotten that one. Bad snap, and it was blocked. Try to still pick up the number.
It was 89. Was it 89?
85 is Joe Smith, and I still can't quite pick up the number.
Maybe it is 85. Yeah, Joe Smith. Dusty, he did that last week against Pineview twice.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he had the block punt, and then he had the forced fumble on the kickoff return.
That's right. That's right.
So timeout on the field. 5:20 left in the third. So after the block punt from Joe Smith, it is 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Puka Nacua still looking for a touchdown to take the record as they hit Nacua on the slant. Gets him one closer to the receptions record, and it's a first down for Orem.
I've got him at 7 receptions now, 117 yards with that touchdown. Had 4 receptions in the first quarter. I don't remember him catching one in the second quarter. He's had 3 here in the third. I keep looking the direction of 12 here.
Rocky goes in motion. Going to set up a screen underneath. This is Buju Tuisavura, who had that pick 6 inside of the 15 to the 14-yard line.
You see they kind of had that set up to give a look like a receiver screen to the top. Coming right back underneath with Tuisavura. Good play design there for this Orem offense.
Two receivers at the top of the screen. Jackson Williams, a near side receiver. Tuisavura in motion. Fake the handoff to Rocky, and it's Tuisavura in space, and down he goes. Nice play turned in by Dixie's number 22, Jake Staley.
Well, that's one of the first times I can think of, Dusty, where, I mean, initial man there for Dixie is able to bring down the ball carrier. You know, most of the time we've seen them bounce off or fight through tackles, and this time it's a great job by Staley coming up and keeping hold of that leg and just not allowing anywhere for Tuisavura to go.
Third down and 8.
Puka in the slot here.
Sewell in the backfield is Laga going to throw. Going to Nacua. Broken up. He had the record catching one, a breaking ball right in his hands as Tyson Miller broke it up. There's a flag on the play.
Boy, you see this unfold, and it's a great concept. Puka gives a great move, and that middle wide open. What a job coming up that time by Miller to break it up late. And yardage here going to be tacked off against Orem.
So holding on the Tigers. What is that, their 11th penalty now?
That's what I have.
So back them up. The third down and 21 from the 33. Nacua now at the very bottom of the screen. Peterson, the slot receiver. Rocky in motion. Hand off to Sewell. And Noah hit at the line of scrimmage, and he's not getting out of that one. Taui Li'ili on the stop.
Great job by this Orem front. I mean, Dusty, you'll see they're all kind of just waiting to see where this ball's going. But that's a fantastic job fighting it off by Warren Taui Li'ili, as you had mentioned and probably pronounced better than I did. But a great job of just getting off that Orem front and able to wrap up Sewell and wait for his defense help to come.
Fourth down and 21. Orem going to go for it. Rocky in motion. Laga has a man up the rail, but looks back. Comes to Peterson. Overthrows him.
There's a flag on the play anyway, Dusty.
Well, the way that Hill is responding, it looks like a holding penalty on Orem, which would be declined. So face mask on Hill, and that penalty will be declined. And it'll be Dixie football at the 33.
You know, it's a moment like this where that pick six really comes back at you. I mean,
absolutely.
You just get a defensive stop if you're able to drive and score here. Remember, their touchdown drive took less than a minute. So they've shown they can move the ball. But now, I mean, trailing here by 27 certainly makes this different than 20.
Graff, quick hitter to Mahi. Spins off the initial tackle. Man, he gets popped at the end of that play. Gets to the 39-yard line. Gain of 6, 2nd down and 4.
I think Ethan Emerson took the worst of this one. To have another look, and Emerson's the man who's going to come up here. Number 24, so he's coming from the top of your screen. He's coming to help finish off the tackle and watch the impact. Well, it wasn't that bad. It looked like it was more severe in real time.
I'm thinking
Darn that 50%.
I was thinking of the marble pendulum thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to be the second guy, it hurts to be the outside one. 2nd down and 4, inside of 2 minutes left in the third quarter. As Graff, quick set, was looking to go over the middle. His wide receiver got knocked to the ground which is Mahi. There's a flag on the play. And right now it is a Dixie 1st down. And
had some Orem celebration, so they were thinking that it was going to be called on Dixie.
Yeah, Shoni Maunga got up really excited.
Yeah.
And right now the umpire ready to mark this off.
The umpire started to mark it off, and then he was actually just going back to the spot, but this shouldn't be a spot foul. It should be from the location of the hold, right?
Defense comes from the line of scrimmage.
Oh, okay. Thanks for that.
And I actually think it was the right call. Is what I had noticed when
at the top.
Mahi, you see him on the ground there, because he was grabbed and thrown to the ground. Minute and a half to go in the third. Graff going to fire near side. That pass is complete on time to Kasier, who made a move and then loses the football, and it's recovered by Jake Robinson.
Boy, you have an opportunity here for a big play for Orem to get some life back in this thing. It's a nice move here to slip through, and then this one just poked away. I wasn't quite certain if there was contact there or not. I think it was was it Tyler Pay, the senior. Able to knock that ball loose, and a great job by Robinson, who's been all over today for the Orem defense to come up with that recovery.
Talk about all the big-name guys, and there's a lot of them from Orem. There's a lot of guys that make a lot of plays.
Yeah.
And there's just another one turned in there. Laga, after the turnover, fires out to Puka Nacua, who makes the grab.
You know, Dusty, and it's another turnover for this Orem defense. And we've talked about how the defense will score just as much as the offense if you let them. In the semis, it wasn't that way, but they gave a lot of extra possessions in the semis. And here in the second half, 2 turnovers forced by the Orem D.
2-by-2 formation. Sewell in the backfield. It's Nacua near side. And they'll go with that little delay counter as Sewell got around the end. That's coming back. Another penalty on the Orem Tigers, and this one's going to go against Dylan Peterson.
Have another look and tried to get his hands off. You see, typically hands in the air isn't a good sign.
Hand stuck in a cookie jar on that one.
All right. Oh, that sounds good.
It is Thanksgiving week for most people, except for our friends to the north, who for some reason do it in October. But it'll be 1st down and 18.
Well, it's because it'd be too cold for a turkey bowl in November up north. Got to do it when the weather's a little more mild, eh?
I never worried about playing some hockey.
See what I did there?
Yeah,
I ended it with an A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1st and 18. Laga out in the flat to Rocky. He got near midfield. They will mark him out at the 50. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Actually got him to the 49.
So one of the things that I've been impressed with Laga today, you know, so often when I think of Orem, I think of big plays and attacking down the field. And today Laga's been very happy to take some of those short routes, allow his receivers to do work. He's been extremely efficient through the air.
Play action, Laga Going deep for Nacua. Comes, no, knocked away. I tend to always assume Nacua to come down with that. Nice job in the bracket coverage. Ethan Emberson. And I believe it was Miller again.
Boy, and I thought this time he may have gotten caught. He's playing this ball. Yeah, Miller got his hand in there. Had an interception earlier. Excuse me.
Walden.
Yeah, Walden. Got his hand in there to knock that ball loose. Great job.
Thought Puka for sure was coming down with that. But another highlight reel catch, but it was great defense. Is going to keep it on the ground. Tui Severa bounces it and goes outside, and Buju Tui Severa. Touchdown, Orem Tigers. Got one on defense and now gets one on offense. And Orem running away.
This time the corner just comes up too aggressive. See, look at how far inside he bites. And by that time, it's too late. No one going to catch the speed of Tui Severa. 49-yard touchdown.
Williams going to be excited. There's not going to be a very strict film review of this. He was adjusting his gloves.
Right.
But
hey,
it's no matter.
Look good, play good, Dusty.
The point after is up and good. 20 seconds left in the third quarter. 40-6, Orem leading Dixie. Commentary brought to you by TOS, your orthopedic specialty hospital. After that Buju Tui Severa touchdown, 20 seconds left in the third quarter. Remember, we got all three championship games right here for you on live.ksl and deseretnews.com. As that goes out of bounds, and it'll be Flyer football at 35-yard line. Let's take a look at that replay if we can pull it up. I know doing some producing on the air here, but what a great run by Tui Severa. He bounces this thing twice.
Yeah, look, this is designed to go inside. He's there, doesn't see it. Now he's going to hit outside, and he gets help on that edge from Williams. Great eyes that time from Tui Severa.
He bounces to the 6 hole, and then he bounces to the 8.
That kind of a day for the Tigers. Although, is that the first? I'm trying to recall. Is that the longest touchdown of the day?
I believe so.
49 yards.
As Graff rolls to the far side. And then he has to scramble away, and Graff is taken down by Sewell. Gain of 2.
So many opportunities, and one of those where Graff is just trying to fight through, pick up positive yards, and just limited to 2, even though he had to run quite a distance to do it.
End of the third quarter, the final quarter of the 4A season coming up. You're watching the 4A championship game on live.ksl and deseretnews.com. Final quarter of the 4A season, and Dusty Lister, Dane Stewart with you. 20 points in the first half for the Orem Tigers, 20 points in the third quarter off the legs of Buju Tuisavura with a pick six and that big touchdown run.
Dusty, he was impressive. And really this Orem defense now starting to generate some turnovers, forcing a few extra possessions, and really been a complete team effort today. Both sides been dominated by the Cats in white.
As that snap goes through the hands of Graff, and he's dropped in the backfield by Ayu, one of the better defenders in the state, Jaden Ayu.
One of the other things, Dusty, is Orem wearing that tiger with the sailor hat logo on the helmet today. I'm not going to lie.
Love that.
Big fan. Big fan.
So it'll be 3rd down and 16 after that loss. Looking to throw. Graff, down he goes. Pinning their ears back and getting to him was Ryland Suafilo. The next man's little bro getting another big play.
Back-to-back losses for Dixie, going to set up 4th and forever. Again, that defense for Orem coming up with big plays and haven't had to bring a lot of blitzing today. Been able to get away with 4 or 5 guys. Been a solid effort for this D.
And Joe Smith with the block. Jake Robinson with the recovery, and it's an Orem touchdown. His 2nd block punt of the day, the 4th block punt from Joe Smith on the hill.
Offer that kid, huh?
We were giving punters offers last week.
Yeah. We got the next special teams all-star up here at Rice Eccles. I'm a little disappointed. Robinson, what? Let Joe have it, huh? I'm just teasing.
Coach Hill told us, he said, look, Joe Smith might be the smallest guy on our team, but you wouldn't know it.
Yeah. His speed around that edge has been so impressive in the semifinal last week, today as well. Fantastic job that time.
A defensive touchdown and now a special teams touchdown here in the second half. 47-6, Orem all over Dixie. Always nice to get a team that's star-studded when you've got guys that know their roles, accept them, and come up big. And Joe Smith, one of those guys that fits that characterization.
How about a sophomore that has really burst onto the scene for his high school in the biggest games they've played this year? Semis and championships, and Joe Smith, a couple more years with him. Watch out.
Well, we got realignment coming up this year. And I know, speaking to a few people, trying to get a good handle on it, talking to a couple of different areas, though some changes are coming.
I heard Bingham to 3A.
Yeah, that's exactly what needs to happen. But Orem, I know, wants to move up.
Yep.
They wanted to be up, according to sources, in this last realignment. They didn't want to be 4A.
Yeah.
They wanted to be 5A, but their appeal was not accepted to play 5A football. But they will be moving they believe they'll be moving classifications. As we got a timeout taken here by Coach Hill. 9:52 left in the fourth quarter. We'll step aside. You're watching a 4A championship game. So out of the timeout from Orem. Fake the fly sweep. Give it to Banuelos. And Banuelos gets across the 20 to the 24-yard line. Now, continuing that thought that I started, Orem wanted to be in 5A. And I believe, more than likely, I think we will see them move up.
Yeah, I think there's probably going to be some openings in 5A due to some 5A teams moving up to 6A, right? And, it's real interesting. I mean, we were on the semis last week, and we started piecing together some of those potentials. And there could be some real intriguing regions and some matchups. But at the end of the day, I mean, all that's just kind of hearsay until it actually happens. But, yeah, no, I'm with you. I think you look at the growth, particularly down in northern Utah County, and the way that affects some of those schools will certainly create openings and opportunities for Orem to move up to a classification that quite honestly, they should be at.
Well, and let's also be honest, Legal will be gone, Nacua will be gone, Sewell will be back along with some others. So does the golden era continue for the Golden Tigers? Becomes the next question. Because Graff throws and just misses that one to Kazier. To that would have been number 13, not 15, Keaton Schweitzer. But, I mean, we were talking last year with Lehigh being in 5A. They would have contended for the 6A championship, no doubt in my mind, with that talent. But you look at them this year, though they were competitive, it wasn't the same level at all.
Yeah, I know that this Orem group has a lot of seniors and very talented seniors, but Dusty, there's something in the program right now. There's an energy in the program, and people want to play for that. And so when I look at Orem, I don't really see them coming down. I mean, look, I don't think they're going to be as dominant next year as they were this year, but I see that as a program that is still going to be a top program in whatever region they're in. And by top, I'm not guaranteeing region championships, but I mean they can compete for one.
Absolutely. Timeout on the field. 8:10 left in the fourth quarter. You're watching the 4A State Championship on Live.KSL and DesertNews.com. Still a TV timeout, but kind of want to finish some of the thoughts. But it'll be interesting to watch where realignment takes everything. As we talked, I think we talked last week in one of the games. You look at Utah County. One of the theories that I'd heard is that Utah County schools would be 5A and 6A, which would the thought would be that Salem Hills, Spanish Fort, Payson, Mountain View, Orem would be going from 4A to 5A, and the potential of Timpview and Sky Ridge moving to 6A. Be very interesting to watch what happens with that and what it will change here in football. As they're going to go double pass, Puka Nacua had Jackson Williams. He waited a minute, now unloads it, and it is incomplete. Broken up by Ethan Emerson.
Not quite certain what the hesitation was. This play was wide open, Dusty, and Puka, you'll see him just take a second.
He didn't have the laces.
Yeah. Took him a while to get that ball settled.
And his brother Kai is going to tell him, hey, he ran the triple option at Liberty as a quarterback, but he could have gotten that ball off. How'd you beat that Thanksgiving dinner?
Right? How would you like to pay for that Thanksgiving dinner?
Exactly. That's a worry in itself. I worry about paying for 3 weddings and 3 daughters. I can imagine having to feed all those boys.
Yeah.
As Laga going deep. He's got Puka Nacua. It just makes the catch, and Puka breaks the record. Only fitting that it's a jump ball, and Nacua showing athleticism and getting in the end zone to break the record.
26.
This might not be his last touchdown today. His first touchdown of the year made SportsCenter's top 10 plays. And that one wasn't that bad either.
You know, we'll let you enjoy that one. Remember, he came into the championship game last year, I think in a similar situation, got the 1. It tied him. And then this year, Paxton Henry at Milford, with his touchdown reception in the championship, was the lone man. And now Puka, his senior year, able to be the lone record holder for single season receiving touchdowns. Congratulations.
7:17 left in the fourth quarter. Nacua breaks the record. It's all Orem in the 4A championship. Welcome back to Rice Eccles Stadium, the first of 3 championship games today. 6A next, AF Lone Peak, as I have dubbed it, the battle for Timpanogos Temple. As that is what kind of separates the 2 schools, both of which get a good look at it.
Great article this week, Dusty, about some of the friendships that exist there. You can go check it out on the Deseret News. But Jared Fotu and Chase Richards grew up in the same neighborhood.
Roberts.
Thank you, Chase Roberts. Grew up in the same neighborhood, same schools, all that, and see each other on a regular weekly basis. And now they'll be lining up on separate sidelines. And the most awkward part is they'll have to see each other in 2 days, regardless of the outcome. So,
well, it's funny because Corner Canyon and Alta have a lot of that.
Yep.
Now, they're not nearly as close as AF and Lone Peak. I mean, when we say close, I mean, we're talking just a couple, maybe 2 miles.
Maybe.
At best.
Yeah.
One one fruit orchard back in the days, what separates these two schools, or those two schools, and that's coming up next. And then, oh man, the big one, Sky Ridge, Corner Canyon.
Two teams have lost combined one game this year, all the way back in week 1.
Yeah, Sky Ridge lost the opener to Riverton and not lost since. Corner Canyon's only been tested once, and that was last week, just getting away from Olympus. As I love the play design there, and then near side on the catch and run is Keaton Schweitzer. People can be frustrated. You're wearing a hood. That's not illegal. You can use the hood. You can use his hair. So frustration on near side. There's not a penalty on that. Not sure what the anger is.
Going back, Dusty, to what you were talking about, Corner Canyon trying to be the second team to run the slate undefeated. There's only one other team that did it this year in 2018, that being the Milford men. Only other undefeated team in the state right now, Corner Canyon. You better believe the Tigers are probably going to be rooting for Sky Ridge. I mean, I got no source on that. I'm just saying.
I say, you think they're the 72 Dolphins? They
right.
popped champagne with the last
Well,
team?
probably not champagne. They are
well,
kids.
okay. Well, they're popping
Martinelli's.
A&W's. Yeah,
Martinelli's, right?
Absolutely. By the way, that's chilled and ready to go on Thursday.
Speaking of chilled, we had some escalation of tensions in the backfield. You see that matchup at the bottom there? Yeah, that kept going through the play and beyond. No penalty flags thrown, trying to separate the players.
Now, Orem, don't expect them to take their foot off the pedal. Asked Coach Hill that. He said, look, most of our guys, quarter of the season, haven't played. Pulling guys in the fourth quarter, not letting them go. He said, we want our seniors to enjoy their last game as Orem Tigers. As Graff going to fire complete to Kaiser. And he gets to the 40-yard line. It'll be a yard shy of the yard to gain. Second down and 1. 5.5 to go.
Of course, given the score running clock here. A lot of AF fans starting to make their way in the stadium, Dusty. This near side quickly turning from blue to red.
4 years ago, they had a terrific showing
Yep.
in that game against Bingham.
The fans, that
The
is.
fan,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
That football team was a little outmatched that
was
day.
a tough one.
As there goes Mahi, the explosive player for the Flyers. Mark him out of bounds at the 18-yard line. First down for Dixie.
This is that play we saw a ton last week, that fly sweep to Mahi, and great blocking around the edge. You see the lead man there taking on an Orem defender. That was Preston Moore. Mahi down the sidelines, and Dixie into the red zone for the first time today, I believe. Their touchdown was a 37-yarder. I don't recall them being inside the red zone.
That's the first one. It was a deep ball to Kaiser.
Yep.
And fake the fly sweep, and it's going to be Graff into the end zone. Touchdown, Dixie Flyers.
That's what I expected to see more of today. I thought they left that pretty early. And look, I'm not a coach, and I get it. You're down, 13-0, 20-0. I thought we would have seen more of that earlier in this ball game. That Dixie ground game has been good for them all year. And today they just got behind the numbers on the scoreboard and tried to throw their way back in it. It didn't work out for them, but that's the prolificness that this Dixie offense has had during the course of this year. And you talk about teams on a great win streak. They lost to Springville week 1, hadn't lost since. So they also came in with a lot of momentum.
It was a heartbreaking loss week 1. As the point after is good. 4:36 left in the fourth quarter. It's 54-13. You're watching the 4A Championship on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. 4:36 left in the fourth quarter. Off that Dixie touchdown. And a little pooch kick here near side, and got it. Beautifully done on the pitching wedge. I'm not sure what the flags are for.
I'm not certain if. I have no idea.
Man, it's not illegal touching.
Well, he never close to the boundary. Maybe there was a block. I have no idea.
Well, first of all, he can't return it. So it's a dead ball recovered
but
at
that's
the 41.
Not a flag.
Yeah, exactly. I say illegal touching, but it's not illegal touching.
Interference. Wow. I missed that. I don't know if
Because
we have that again.
Was it because of contact with the ball in the air? But that's not it either.
No, let's have another look. So they called kick catch interference. Now, watch this. Yeah, that's just a terrible call. I don't get it.
We'll consult with that's one we can go to the UHSAA. Jeff Clough does a great job when we ask him questions, giving us answers. This is where I'd like to have a Mike Pereira kind of situation.
Yeah.
Hey, why that call?
You know, so the only thing I could think of, they called the kick catch interference, right? So you saw the blocker come down on, so watch this matchup. Second guy from the bottom of your screen. Now watch that bottom front blocker, but he's never trying to catch the ball. So for me, I thought they called kick catch interference, but I see nothing on Dixie there.
Well, and
I don't get it.
The other thing that I had is maybe you're engaged the ball in the air, but that happens on almost every kickoff. So I'm really kind of stunned of why that call.
We'll have to go and ask. And I said that's a terrible call. Unless I get more information. Let me put that little caveat there, right? I'm not quite certain what that call was and why. And after we get an explanation, maybe that'll change. But well executed from Dixie.
Clock's running as Lagan, the offense, come out. Presumably their final possession of their high school careers, as Lagan's going to run. And Cooper's inside the 35-yard line, first down to the 33. As talk about this team, and Orem for a number of years kept hearing this is going to be the year of the Orem. This is, look out for this team, look out for this team. And the last 2 years have certainly lived up to it. Last year, lost a game to Bingham, ran through their season, and this year lost to Bingham, and we mentioned lost to Bishop Gorman, but winning out-of-state games against Century from Pocatello, beat North Las Vegas's Canyon Springs. That pass is incomplete, intended for Olian, and then went out to Santa Margarita and took care of business. But Dane, the last 2 years for this group of seniors to win back-to-back state championships is quite a special accomplishment for this program.
It really is, Dusty. I mean, they hadn't won a state championship in a long time at Orem, and this is going to be number 7 in school history, brings them to 7-7 all-time in championship games. But you look at the way that this program, which historically has been a program of underachievement. I mean, there's been hype around Orem football for a while, and last year and this year, to finally be able to meet that standard speaks a lot to the job that Coach Hill and his staff has really done here at Orem High School.
Noah Sewell gets in the end zone, and the junior, just give you a little taste of what you can see next year, is no more you can do if you're Orem than just keep the ball on the ground, and the big number 2 takes this one to the house.
That's why I feel all the more confident that Orem football, regardless of classification, in 2019, Dusty, it's still going to be a demon to be dealt with. Because big number 2 will be running.
The last back-to-back state championships for Orem, 93-94. Won the 5A championship in 93-94. Blocked the field goal. There's no return on the block. So that's the 3rd missed extra point of the day. If there's only one thing that Coach Hill's going to walk away feeling frustrated about, would be that. 2:15 left in the 4th. Noah Sewell gets in the end zone. 60-13. Tigers leading Dixie. 2:15 left in the fourth quarter. We just have a couple minutes left as Mahi gets across the 40 before he's spun to the ground. As a final drive for the Dixie Flyers, we mentioned it. They lost a heartbreaking game to start the year against Springville. This game been out of doubt for a while, but a terrific, great return for Coach Monkers in his first season back in his second trip being head coach at Dixie.
Picking up right where he left off, Dusty. And, we were talking with him last week. He said, yeah, it's been a couple of years that, I'm happy to be back to a place that I've had great success at and loves these kids and his opportunity to teach and coach football. And, bad news for all of St. George is that Coach Monkers is back loving life at Dixie High School. And we mentioned the win streak they've gone on. Obviously, things not turning out the way here in the championship that they would have liked. But, the old ball coach is back, and this Dixie program continues to be one of the top down in southern Utah. Amazing that St. George, much like Utah County right now, has been so good in football. As Banuelos with the big run, and Banuelos out of bounds at the 30. But Washington County is not the size of Utah County. And you think of every school that's St. George, quote unquote, Pineview, Dixie, Desert Hills, 3 of the 4. Snow Canyon's been down for a little bit, which was a power in the 90s when it opened. Really, really impressive. Yeah. No, it is. I mean, you can make an argument for any one of those teams being in the top 5 basically every week inside of 4A. And especially when you look at the representation in the state tournament. I mean, Pineview made it to the semis, lost to these Orem Tigers. Desert Hills was upset early, but still had a fantastic year. I mean, those 3 in that region, Dusty, they were barn burner games every time they met. And they continue to just be strong programs down in southern Utah and represent extremely well. Final seconds as Coach Hill just got the Gatorade bath on the sideline. Back-to-back state championships coming up for the Orem Tigers. As they will be the final play here for Dixie. A run near side. And Schweitzer's brought down, and that'll do it. Back-to-back state championships for the Orem Tigers. Having not lost since September, Nacua breaks a record, falls short of the receptions record, but all these Tigers care about is winning a state championship. Coach Hill has been their coach and has coached these kids since the 4th grade. Nacua and Lagat joined them in the 6th grade, and they leave with back-to-back state championships, staying your National Guard player of the game. Well, for me, Dusty, I'm going to go with Cooper Lagat. I thought he was fantastic. He got the ground game going early, really added a dynamic to this Orem offense that Dixie just couldn't compensate for. And then, of course, he was huge in Puka, being able to get those 2 receptions today and setting the single-season receiving touchdown mark. I'm going to go with Cooper Lagat, our player of the game. Congratulations to the Orem Tigers. Back-to-back state championships for Coach Hill and the Tigers, but a great year for Dixie as well. Orem just a bit too much, as it was a terrific year for the Tigers. Congratulations again to Orem, your 2018 4A state football champions. For Thompson Coles, Ryan Rasmussen, and Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and watching the 4A state championship game on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. The 6A championship game coming up right after this short break as they go through the trophy presentation right here on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com.